OMG. This is the worst thing ever. All right, here we go. With great power comes endless reboots of film franchises. It's Harmless Phosphorescence. Hello, everybody. This is Mayor of Tokyo, Thoreau Smiley. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Cece, but you can call me by my street name, Freddy the Three-Legged Mouse.
I'm Brian Lesh, and this beats all the meatloafs.
I am Rodrigo Guevara. I snuck in because I love science.
And this is, thank you for joining us, Rodrigo. This is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material. Then we tell you, gentle listener, all about it. This show is brought to you by our patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You can be a patron too. Just head over to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got lots of bonus content there. We've got the Star Wars series, holiday shows, a personal history of sound. We've got our monthly movie. We've got a new one coming out, guys. This month, the month of July 2021, we are going to be watching Every Which Way But Loose. So that's coming soon. Watch for that. And watch all of our other stuff on there too. $1 a month is all it takes to get started. This week, however, everybody, on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are watching The Amazing Spider-Man.
How did you get out there?
Fire escape.
It's 20 stories.
The doorman's intimidating.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Parker.
Not much to tell, really.
Peter lives with his aunt and uncle.
Did you catch that spider guy yet?
No, but we will. This guy wears a mask like an outlaw.
I think he's trying to do something maybe the police can't.
Can't?
You know, if you're gonna steal cars, don't dress like a car thief.
You a cop?
You seriously think I'm a cop in a skin-tight red and blue suit?
Who are you?
I know it's been rough for you, Peter. I forgot all about that thing. It was your dad's.
Your father was a very secretive man, Peter.
Dr. Connors, I'm Richard Parker's son.
Your father and I were going to change the lives of millions, including mine. Extraordinary. How did you come up with this? There's a rumor of a new species in New York. It can be aggressive if threatened.
I gotta stop him, because I created him.
That's not your job.
Maybe it is.
"38 of New York's finest versus one guy in a unitard."
If you want the truth, Peter, come and get it.
I am issuing an arrest warrant for the masked vigilante known as Spider-Man.
I'm in trouble.
Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man. No regular Spider-Man for us this time. Released July 3rd, 2012. Running time of 136 minutes. It cost $230 million to make. And it took in $758 million at the box office. So it did all right. Yeah, it's a Spider-Man movie. Of course it did.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got Dennis Leary in it. The people love him.
Yeah, the people come out for Dennis Leary.
Well, Rescue Me was very popular at that time.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, it absolutely
I,
was.
I didn't watch the show, but he was a household name for a bit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
And
I
he's
mean,
an
it's
asshole.
he is an asshole. He loves to smoke.
Yeah.
And he hates
He doesn't smoke
cappuccinos.
anymore. Yeah. All right.
What? Oh, he quit smoking?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good
Wow.
for him.
Wonder if he
That
chews
was a whole
gum.
bit. So, gentlemen, this brings us to the portion of the show called the Box Office Top 10 Game. Are you fellas ready to play the game where I will describe the top 10 movies of the week of July 3rd, 2012, and you fellas will try to guess what movie I'm describing based on that description. Also, you guys are going to try to guess where The Amazing Spider-Man opened in the top 10.
It wasn't number one?
I don't know. Was it? It's up to you to guess.
Was that not a guess? All right.
Is that your guess? Okay, Josh, you go with number one. You're going to go with number one, Josh?
If you were choosing me first. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it,
Okay.
Josh.
Yeah. Number one.
Okay, Brian.
I'm going to say number 2.
Brian says number 2, and Al, what do you say?
3. I'm stuck with 3.
Okay. So here we go. This is the Box Office Top 10 Game. Opening at number 10. Not The Amazing Spider-Man. While settling his recently deceased father's estate, actually, it might be The Amazing Spider-Man. A salesman discovers he has a sister whom he never knew about, leading both siblings to re-examine their perceptions about family and life choices. Looks like that's Chris Pine. Elizabeth Banks. Ooh, Jon Favreau. Any guesses?
Beyond the Chris Pines.
Yeah.
Beyond the Chris Pines lies an Elizabeth Banks. An Elizabeth River Banks.
No, First National Bank.
This is called People Like Us.
They don't like us.
People
though.
like us?
People
like
yeah,
us.
is it people like us or people like us?
Yeah.
Coming in at number 9. Oh boy. Following clues to the origin of mankind, a team finds a structure on a distant moon, but they soon realize they are not alone. This is part of a film franchise.
Is this Independence Day 2?
No, it is not. It is probably, oh gosh, depending on how you count it, either like the 5th or 6th in this franchise.
Alien?
Oh wait, is this is this Alien versus Predator 2?
Nope, not Alien versus Predator 2.
But the first one?
It is
4.
AVP 2?
Prometheus.
Oh, it's
You have
Prometheus.
AVP
Yes.
too. I'm sorry to say.
Prometheus.
I was thinking of Our Moon, not
Oh, not yeah. Yeah.
LV422 or whatever that one is.
Yeah,
I love this movie.
I didn't know about.
I'm one of the few people I know that really enjoyed Prometheus and has watched it too many times.
I appreciated it. It had its good points. I wouldn't say I loved it, but it's an interesting one that maybe we'll be able to talk about someday in the distant future.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Coming in at number 8. A pair of young lovers flee their New England town, which causes a local search party to fan out to find them. This stars Bill Murray.
Is this Garfield?
Oh no! Is it Moonrise Kingdom?
Yes, Moonrise Kingdom.
Oh,
Wes Anderson joint. That was a good one. I liked that one.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. All right, coming in at number 7. I don't know how to describe this without giving away the movie altogether. A president discovers a group is trying to take over the United States, So he makes it his mission to eliminate them.
Abraham Hunter.
Boom! You got it, Al.
Wow.
Ooh, Al, you get 1 vial of blood for your efforts. Instead of points, I'm handing out blood this week.
Is it in a necklace? Can he wear it? Adorn his body with it?
Absolutely. I have some extra blood, so that's what I'm giving out to everyone this week instead of points.
Did you know your body just makes more? Is it your blood throw? Because if it's not, I have many questions.
I don't think I have to answer that.
This isn't a courtroom. You're fine.
It's HIPAA.
Yeah. This is a workplace. I'm going to get excited. Coming in at
Excess blood.
Yeah, I leave it laying around.
Too much blood.
It's definitely spoiled at this point.
I've got too much.
Coming in at
it's blood.
Yeah, you can eat anything if you're brave enough.
Or dumb enough, but yeah.
Yeah. Coming in at number 6. Oh boy. A group joins a struggling European circus in order to get to New York, but find themselves being pursued by a psychotic officer. I definitely watched this one at some point. It would have been on in the background while I washed dishes or something, and my toddler son at the time would have been watching it.
The Croods?
No, not the Croods. The Croods did not join a struggling European circus, to my knowledge.
Right, I forgot your description. My go-to is Croods.
What I find amazing is that they made the Croods 2 10 years later. Was like the public outcry for the Croods so much. They're like, we can't withhold this from the public any longer.
The story must continue.
The Croods saga must go on.
Hotel Transylvania 2?
No, but both of those are the right kind of movie. Chris Rock is in this.
Oh, Madagascar or something?
Yes, Madagascar. Any guessing which number?
2.
No, 3.
Well,
they should have called it Madagascar or something at this point.
Yeah, Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. I love that there's two locales in that. Madagascar. They're not in Madagascar.
No.
They actually haven't been in Madagascar since the first movie, yet they continue.
Oh, dude, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Oh my gosh. Okay, opening at number 5. A Wall Street investment banker, who has been set up as the linchpin of his company's mob-backed Ponzi scheme, is relocated with his family to a southern home and has to deal with his neighbor.
There's a movie about dealing with your neighbor.
What about Bob 2?
No, I wish. I wish. I'd love to see a Richard Dreyfuss, Bill Murray. What about Bob's sequel set in 2021?
Yes, that character has many more adventures. It would be easy.
This is part of a film series.
Oh God, I want to say that this is like Wall Street 2, but I don't think there was any southern
when Charlie Sheen has to be relocated to the south.
I was a teenage
investment banker.
Wall Street.
Written and directed by Tyler Perry.
Okay.
You got to open with that.
Well, if I did, then
Madea
you guys would...
saves Christmas.
No, Medea saves Wall Street. No,
oh, right.
It's Medea's witness protection.
Oh,
yes,
naturally.
Yeah. This is the first time I'm hearing of this film, so I am. I'm not the target audience, but coming in at number 4. Determined to make her own path in life, a princess defies a custom that brings chaos to her kingdom. Granted a wish, she must rely on her bravery and skills to undo a curse.
Is this Brave?
It is Brave.
Oh.
This is Mandy Moore does all the music for this.
Oh, yeah,
I've never
that's
seen
right.
it, but I've heard the soundtrack, and it's
a good
very
movie.
disappointing.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not Pixar's best, but it's better than Cars 2.
It sounds like Christian rock.
It's not a Pixar film.
It's
Yeah, it
it's
is.
isn't
Brave
it a
is
Disney?
Pixar.
Brave?
No, Brave is Pixar.
Oh,
Brave is Pixar.
I thought that was Disney animation.
No, Brave is straight up Pixar.
weird.
Yeah. It's better than Cars 2. It's better than Dinosaur. Better than Monsters University.
I have seen none of those. I should have a kid
man.
or something.
Yeah, I've seen every single Pixar film, some of them numerous times. But yeah, okay. Coming in at number 3. Okay. This will, yeah, you guys will get this right off the bat. A male stripper teaches a young performer how to party, pick up women, and make easy money.
Al, you won. It's the Amazing Spider-Man. Or the Magic Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike, yeah.
Saw it in theaters. There was a lot of hooting and hollering. It was exciting.
Did you really see it in theaters?
I really saw it in theaters with a big group of women.
awesome.
They were like, "Let's go!" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, that sounds great. Let me just get real drunk."
Yes, definitely. That is awesome. Yeah, Magic Mike opening at number 3. This is a big week for openers.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 movies opening this week, including our number 2 movie. After Peter Parker is bitten by a genetically altered spider, he gains newfound spider-like powers. So
Oh,
that's the most generic.
I'm surprised
ever.
they didn't describe it as like after the death of his parents, a young boy finds a bag in his basement and unravels a conspiracy to turn New York City into lizards.
Briefly into lizards. Yes.
Momentarily.
Yeah, we'll get into that because whoa. But yes, Amazing Spider-Man opens at number 2. So that means that there's something that beat a Spider-Man movie its opening week. What kind of behemoth could do this?
Oh, they'll get him in the sequel, I'm sure. They'll win.
What
Behemoth?
massive opener?
Kong.
July. Oh, good guess. That would, yeah. That's kind of something that could do it, but it is not.
Fast and the Furious 7 or 6
yeah,
or something.
That's another kind of opener that could. Al, any sort of guesses? You're the only one who hasn't had one yet.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, no, I don't want to do it. Opening at number 1 this week.
Wait. Pippi Longstocking.
Oh, dude. Everybody loves Pippi Longstockings.
Dude, the 70s Pippi Longstockings are my wife's like childhood go-to, like favorite thing ever. So we've watched them a lot. Those movies are amazing.
They're crazy, dude. I went back
So
and
much
watched them a few
empowerment.
years ago. Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, they are something else. So okay, but opening at number 1, John Bennett must decide between keeping the relationship.
Ted.
Yep, Ted. All I had to say was John Bennett, and you got it. That's the most white guy name ever.
I really like
Ted.
that movie.
Beat Spider-Man.
Ted beat Spider-Man.
Good for Seth MacFarlane, man.
That's a
Good for
headline.
him.
Ted beat Spider-Man by a good amount. Spider-Man opened at 75 million this week, and Ted opened at 87 million.
Wow. The marketing for Ted was incredible.
It was all over, yeah. And this was kind of this. I feel like this was kind of the peak. So, like Seth MacFarlane's like
Family Guy was huge, and it just continued to get huge up until this point, and then
yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Hey, is the Orville coming back?
I assume so.
Anybody know?
I don't know.
I hope so. It's a good show.
I've heard. I keep wanting to watch it, but here's the thing. He wants to watch it too, and I've told him you have to at least watch a chunk of Star Trek: The Next Generation first, and we just haven't gotten around to that.
I see.
So, I All right, so that is our box office top 10 for the week. That brings us to the character and comic book background. Al, so apparently there's some sort of Spider-Man. Is this something we've talked about before?
Never before. Not once.
Apparently there's also a Batman who someday we'll get to.
Over and over and over and
Where's
over.
Pest Control Man when you need him?
Right?
That's a good point.
All right, so yes, we've seen 3 Spider-Man movies directed by Sam Raimi and have talked at length about Spider-Man.
Indeed.
This was not the first time we've seen Gwen Stacy, but the first time we've seen her in a big role.
Yeah.
So Gwen Stacy, she first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man number 31, December of 1965, created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Gwen and Peter met in college as undergraduates at Empire State University. Gwen was a science major and appreciated Peter's intellect. Peter ignored Gwen's initial advances when Aunt May was in the hospital, and he was a little despondent. Gwen would date both Flash Thompson and Harry Osborn to make Peter jealous.
Oh, Gwen. You minx.
Gwen and Peter's romantic relationship started after Peter stopped going out with Mary Jane Watson, who at the time he deemed as too self-absorbed.
Oh, she's so full of herself.
Yeah, she just wants to act on the stage, man. It's unfair to Peter.
I don't know. She was always dissing people at parties and shit. Making fun of girls' outfits.
Just popping off.
I don't know.
She's a mean girl.
She was a mean girl.
Probably not with the burn book.
Probably not.
What's a burn book?
We'll get back to Gwen in a moment after we talk about NYPD Captain George Stacy, Gwen's father, who first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man number 56, January of 1968, created by Stan Lee, John Romita Sr., and Don Heck. George was a strong supporter of Spider-Man, acting as a personality foil to J. Jonah Jameson. And he wished to see Spider-Man redeemed in the public eye. Getting to know Peter, who was dating his daughter, George came to suspect that he and Spider-Man were in fact the same person.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks.
One of them leaves the room and then the other one comes in.
He keeps just doing the half and half face thing where his like this side is Peter, this side is Spider-Man, and he'll turn and be like, look over there. Hello.
Hello, I'm Spider-Man.
Captain Stacy was killed protecting a child from falling debris while Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus battled overhead.
What an asshole.
Must have been some light debris that just killed George Stacy and not the kid.
Well, I don't know if the kid survived.
Nobody asked how to look.
Kid survived to become Debris Man.
Nameless kid.
Yeah, Debris Man.
As Spider-Man rushed to his side, George's dying words were, "Be good to her, son. She loves you so very much."
Oh. That's at least that's what they tell you his dying words were. They were probably like, "Oh fuck, this hurts.
Yeah.
Rocks are so heavy.
Fuck you all. I'll see you in hell."
Gwen blamed Spider-Man for her father's death and left for Europe to cope. She eventually returned to New York.
Wow. I wish I could leave to Europe to cope because I got a lot of stuff that I feel like I need to cope with.
I hear Europe's good for coping.
For cocaine? Is that what you said?
Wow, that too.
Gwen eventually returned to New York for the love of Peter, and their relationship was rekindled. But not happily ever after. In The Amazing Spider-Man number 121, June of 1973, Gwen is taken by the Green Goblin and thrown from a bridge. Spider-Man tries to save her, catching her legs with a web strand, but her neck is broken by the whiplash.
It's hard.
Many point to Gwen Stacy's death as the end of the Silver Age of comics.
That Spider-Man was like, I declare this the end of the Silver Age.
First I kill my girlfriend, then I kill an era.
Yeah, they hadn't quite killed the character in that way.
No, they hadn't. And rarely outside of, say, origin stories had a hero failed so miserably.
That's interesting.
And nor had a hero's loved one died so suddenly.
And graphically, I mean, it's not gory or anything, but it definitely makes you think about what snapping your spine or neck. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it's a little intense.
Gwen would return a couple years later as a clone, who was even later revealed to be the original Gwen, reanimated by the Jackal.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Yeah.
What does that?
This is why people have problems with comic books not killing people. Yeah, she's
really,
a clone, but she's actually herself.
Right.
Like, what is there actually even a difference then at that point? Like,
and why her?
Let's see. In an alternate reality designated Earth 65, it was Gwen Stacy who was bitten by a radioactive spider, becoming Spider-Woman. First appearing in Edge of Spider-Verse #2, her story continuing in the ongoing series Spider-Gwen.
Yeah. That's
In this reality, Gwen must fight her best friend Peter Parker, who has decided to retaliate against his bullies by becoming the Lizard.
you know, that's interesting. I would actually, I could dig Emma Stone as Spider-Gwen, actually.
Yeah.
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 I can see it. The Lizard, you say?
Yeah, I say.
Did somebody mention Lizard?
Back in the regular reality of comics, not the alternate reality.
Right.
Okay. Oh, comic books.
The Lizard is Dr. Kurt Connors, created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, first appearing in The Amazing Spider-Man #6, all the way back in November of 1963.
So did they alliterate that with a C, I hope?
Yes.
Okay.
And no, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll bring this up later. Just go ahead, Al.
Okay. Dr. Connors is a geneticist in Florida who researched the ability of certain reptiles to regrow missing limbs and developed a serum based on lizard DNA to help humans do the same. Having lost his right arm in the war, Connors tested the serum on himself. He successfully regenerates his arm, but also transforms into a feral anthropomorphic lizard. On a daily bugle assignment to Florida to investigate, the lizard... sorry, threw in an extra comma there. Peter Parker finds Connor's notes and creates an antidote to restore Connor's humanity.
Wow. Can I have that? Because I feel like...
Yeah.
Explode that
humanity to do some restoring. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got some humanity needs
right here,
restoring.
I got humanity.
Connors, however, would continue to tinker with the serum, hoping to make it safe for use. The lizard persona remained in Connor's subconscious, emerging upon continued use of the serum and occasionally in times of stress, much like the Hulk, evolving with each transformation.
Getting better all the time.
The lizard adopted the familiar goal of world domination, hoping to replace the human population with super reptiles like himself.
It's noble of him.
But if everybody's a super reptile, then nobody's a super reptile.
Right, exactly.
Dr. Connors... Let's see. Dr. Connors has a genius-level intellect.
Woo!
And is often an ally for Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He strives to rid himself of the lizard persona. The lizard, apart from his super lizard speed, strength and agility, razor-sharp teeth and claws, and prehensile lizard tail, possesses a telepathic control over reptiles.
Oh. So he's like Ant-Man,
Kinda.
but
Yeah.
with lizards.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't do a deep dive into Richard and Mary Parker. I had kind of forgotten that they did have a storyline. At some point, they were CIA agents.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
that was during the Spider Clone saga. Ben Reilly. I don't know if you remember that, but there was a clone of Peter Parker named Ben Reilly, and I believe that was the first storyline where it didn't introduce the idea that his parents, had something to do that was a little darker. Yeah, because they just died in a plane crash, right? Originally. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's definitely the first movie where they went with this, and it kind of mucks things up for the comics and the movie.
It really does, and creates like a whole bunch of like weird coincidence stuff and weird, I don't know. It's a weird choice to make.
Well, so it ended up being a little bit like Hulk, with like the sins of your father kind of thing.
Yeah,
even though Richard Parker was portrayed in this movie as noble and whatnot, it was still his doing that his son becomes Spider-Man and the Lizard is created, and
it is, and also but also the dad being involved in spider research specifically, makes the whole thing like really.
Well, there's this undercurrent of Cloak and Dagger, which they never quite paid off as far as those two are related.
Well, I mean, clearly, okay,
totally unnecessary.
They were clearly planning on this being a trilogy, and because the Amazing Spider-Man 2 has a little bit more on it, and clearly they were waiting for the third one to pay it off, but they just didn't get to the third one.
It's not so far.
Again.
It's not so far-fetched that Richard Parker would be researching spiders. It's not necessarily coincidental, even. It's like because Peter finds his dad's briefcase, goes to investigate his dad's research, and finds spiders, which his dad was researching.
I guess there was a lot of animals there. The fact that he wanders the spider room and that's where he gets his powers rather than getting his powers like in the aardvark room or something is oh, man.
Well, you're absolutely right. But also, like, they were also making that webbing before he decided to use it that way. They were just testing its tensile strength and
the bio cable.
Yeah, no. I mean, I understand. Like, so he sees that and he decides to use that. I think it's just kind of coincidental that the spiders were the main point of his dad's research, and that's how he ends up getting his powers is coincidentally through a spider.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You're absolutely right. But
if it was completely disconnected from his dad's research, then the spider thing is like, oh, it's a spider. But this is like, okay, I guess.
But Al's right. In Incredible Hulk, it was the same kind of thing. He wanted to recreate his crazy father's, experiments and shit. Weird.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you, Senor Weber, for your...
Oh,
more? Yeah.
Just a little bit off the top of my head, real briefly. The producers, they said that they were going for like a more Ultimate Spider-Man kind of feel for this one versus the mainstream Spider-Man. But they ended up with Gwen Stacy going with sort of the classic Gwen Stacy because Ultimate Gwen Stacy was like a punk rock girl. So
yeah, that's right.
Sort of a mix of Ultimate and classic, I suppose.
Yeah, she was pretty basic teenagery kind of girl for circa 12. So
anyway,
all right. Thank you much, Al. That brings us to the film production. This movie was directed by Mark Webb.
Coincidence?
I think not. His big claim to fame prior to this was directing 500 Days of Summer. That was his first and only film that he directed before this.
Really?
Yeah. He did some TV stuff. He directed some episodes of The Office. Lone Star, but like 500 Days of Summer is what got him this job. So they clearly they were going after like a mood. You can kind of see like that character work in there with like the kind of like weird awkward romance stuff between Gwen and Peter sometimes.
Mhm.
Like I can see that kind of like a like twee romantic comedy kind of thing that he had going on.
And it's such cliche to say dark, but this was a weird Peter. We'll definitely get to it, but
it was a weird Peter, and I think it has a lot to do with Andrew Garfield. But
well, no, and even Spider-Man it takes Spider-Man a while to stop being an asshole himself.
mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, it did. So all right, we got a screenplay credit for James Vanderbilt. We got three screenwriters on this. James Vanderbilt, who's best known for Zodiac. He also did White House Down. Let's see. He did the Independence Day sequel. Oh, the Slender Man movie. Fun.
Isn't that an exercise video?
And he is writing and producing the upcoming Scream. I don't know if it's a reboot or a sequel, but the movie just titled Scream that's coming out next year. We have Alvin Sargent. We've talked about him before. He had writing credits on Spider-Man 2 and 3, but just as a reminder, he's been working since the 60s. He wrote Paper Moon in 1973, or People. What About Bob? He was a writer on. He's been working for decades. This is his final film credit. He passed away in 2019, so he just retired after this, I suppose. Steve Kloves also has a writing credit on here. He wrote Wonder Boys, a bunch of the Harry Potter adaptations, Fabulous Baker Boys, which is a great movie. Mostly the Harry Potter movies is his big claim to fame. And the Fantastic Beasts, which are also Harry Potter movies. And Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle.
Mowgli?
Yeah, Legend of the Jungle. This movie stars Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield. He hates Mondays. He loves lasagna.
You said that last week, and we were like, "Oh, you want to blow that?" No. All right.
Yeah, I know. I'm going with it. I'm not going to stop because some people may not have listened to last week. And also, he, at the time of this filming, was a 28-year-old man playing high school.
Isn't he British also?
British, a 28-year-old British man playing an American high school student. Yes.
28?
He was 28 when this movie was made.
What's his name?
Tobey Maguire.
At
the time he was 25.
Okay.
So, yes, Andrew Garfield, even older.
I read that as a juvenile, he spent some time in juvie for sending his younger brother Nirmal to Abu Dhabi. Via mail.
Naturally. Yeah, so Andrew Garfield, British. Andrew Garfield. Let's see. He got his start early 2000s. He was in did a lot of stage work. Let's see. He was in a couple episodes of Doctor Who in the 2000s. He was in Lions for Lamb with Tom Cruise, Meryl Streep, and Robert Redford. Wow, back when Tom Cruise tried to make movies that weren't Mission Impossible. He was in the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Good for him. I don't know. Oh, that's right. He was in the Social Network. I forgot about that. Spider-Man was kind of what thrust him into like worldwide stardom spotlight. Will he be back for Spider-Man No Way Home? Marvel's saying we were not going to tell you. Let's see. Emma Stone stars as Gwen Stacy. She hasn't been in anything we've done yet. I felt like we talked about her. Emma Stone, born and raised in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yep.
Yeah. She got her start. Let's see. She was in Superbad, House Bunny, Zombieland.
Yeah.
Let's see. She was in Easy A. That was kind of her breakout. That was her first big starring role, I think, wasn't it?
It's a cute movie.
I like that movie a lot. Crazy Stupid Love.
The Descendants.
Yep.
Yeah.
Birdman?
Birdman,
Yeah,
was after this, of course, but that was a great movie. La La Land, of course, in which she won an Academy Award. Just this year, she starred in the gritty reboot of 101 Dalmatians, Cruella.
She was very good in that. It's not a good movie, really, but she was good.
She is absolutely charming and adorable, and I haven't disliked her in anything I've ever seen, even when the movie itself isn't good. So I don't know. That's my personal opinion on her. Let's see. We got Rice Ifans as Dr. Kurt Connors. Do you think Dylan Baker was like 3 movies? 3 movies. And no lizards.
3 movies of me hiding my arm in my jacket.
Right? This guy comes in lizard from film 1.
Dylan Baker.
Yeah, poor Dylan Baker. He's like, I was a college professor. No, this guy gets to be a scientist. Rice Ifans. He's Welsh. Good for him. I gotta stop saying that. He was in Notting Hill. He played Xenophilius Lovegood in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
That's right.
Yes,
he was in a Charlie Kaufman movie, one that he had written, Something Human.
I don't know.
Tim Robbins is in it. It's a low-key cool movie.
I don't know if I've seen that one. Oh my God, he was in Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. He plays a character named Mick Bunny.
I knew I recognized him from somewhere. He was Mycroft Holmes. Excuse me, Mycroft Holmes in Elementary.
Oh, okay. I've never watched Elementary.
7 episodes.
He was also in Hannibal Rising. Yeah, so guy works. Good for him. I'm so dismissive today. All right. Dennis Leary as George Stacy. Dennis Leary got his start in the 90s as a stand-up. He was in The Ref. Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. He played the ladybug in Bug's Life.
Oh, yeah.
And Diego in Ice Age.
That's
Ice
right.
Age sagas.
Yes, that's right.
The Ice Age saga. Or as I call it, the Ice Age. The Ice Saga. I can't wait for I-9. The Fast and Furious, the 9th movie is just called F9. The Fast Saga. All right. Let's see. Dennis Leary. Yeah. Oh, he worked. Oh, he was in Judgment Night. God,
yes,
that was.
He was. Yeah.
Natural Born Killers. Operation Dumbo Drop.
Suicide Kings was a fantastic role.
That was really good.
That was good.
I think he's a good actor.
He's Dennis Leary. I don't know. I feel like he's just always Dennis Leary.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know about that. But.
That's right. He got his start on Remote Control. It might have been before Brian's time. Alan, Josh, you remember Remote Control?
Oh yeah, Adam Sandler was on it too.
Yeah. That's right.
I never watched it. I didn't have MTV. Was it?
It was MTV, but they showed it. They'd show it on there was a network television where they'd show it too. Saturday mornings, I feel like after cartoons for a while. Because that's where I saw it, because I also didn't have cable when I was during that period. Campbell Scott played Richard Parker. That's kind of, they definitely expected more from him in upcoming films. To cast Campbell Scott in that.
Yeah, was he going to be alive in the third one, or a clone with his essence implanted into it?
I think they definitely, I mean, you don't cast a known actor in a role that small if you don't expect him to actually come back and act at some point in a sequel. Irfan Khan as Rajit Ratha. That's evil Oscorp guy.
Yeah, he was our stand-in for Norman Osborn, which is weird.
Right. Well, yeah, because Norman Osborn doesn't show up in this film because they clearly hadn't cast him yet.
Yeah.
He's in the second movie, but it's funny when he goes into Oscorp and there's like the silhouette of Norman Osborn on the big screen. It's like, oh yeah, we don't know who's going to play him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Martin Sheen played Ben Parker. Is this our first movie with Martin Sheen?
No,
Yeah.
Spawn.
No.
Spawn.
Oh my God. Spawn.
Fuck.
That was a while ago. Wow. Yeah, Martin Sheen. Sally Field plays May Parker. Sally Field. Oh boy. Everyone should know who Sally Field is, but
really like her.
Yeah.
I thought that was probably the best casting choice they made in the whole movie. Was May
Sally
and
Field.
Ben.
Yeah.
And Martin. Yeah.
Thought the same thing.
I liked that version of them.
Yeah, those two together were a lot of fun, I thought.
It's fun how May Parker keeps getting younger and younger with each reboot.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Because Sally Field's a solid like 15 years younger than the previous.
I read that Martin Sheen and God, what was the original Ben Parker?
I can't remember the actor's name.
They both played
Cliff
JFK.
Robertson.
Yeah, Cliff Robertson. They both played JFK, one in the 60s and one in the 80s. So they've shared a character more than once.
That's funny. But yeah, Sally Field, she got her start as Gidget in the 60s. The Flying Nun.
Oh, yeah. I forget she was the Flying Nun.
If we have any listeners like in their like teens or 20s, they're like, what is this gibberish?
It's another one of those fucking just so lame the way women get cast. But she was co-starring with Tom Hanks in Punchline, and a couple of years later, she's his mother in Forrest Gump.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah. No, that's crazy.
It is.
That's crazy. She was in Smokey and the Bandit. She won Academy Awards for Norma Ray and Places in the Heart. And yeah, like you said, Forrest Gump. She was in Steel Magnolias, Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah, our younger viewers, it's Forrest Gump's mom. You know who that is.
Shelby, drink your juice, Shelby.
Let's see. Rounding out our cast, Chris Zilka as Flash Thompson. I kept saying, like, I know who this guy is. What do I know him from? And then I realized
being white.
Yeah, I realized it was The Leftovers is what I was recognizing him from.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that was kind of his biggest thing. Oh, he was on the reboot of 90210. Oh, and he played Gabe in Hannah Montana.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Of course. Gabe. Okay. All right. That rounds out our cast. I didn't find any especially interesting reviews of this film. And that's kind of it for us, or our background.
Real quick, I wanted to point out that the decay rate algorithm that we see throughout this film was inspired by the real-life Gompertz-Makeham law of mortality.
Oh, Gompertz. Okay.
Yes, Gompertz-Makeham law of mortality, which estimates that I have about a 0.3% chance of dying this year.
Yay.
That's
Good.
worth celebrating.
Yeah, 0% change.
Brian's at about 0.15.
Ooh, is this just based on age or?
Mostly age. There was an independent variable based on like war and stuff, so it changes. This law changes all the time.
Well, I'll keep checking in with you, Al, since you seem to have done the math on me.
Yeah, keep us abreast of our place on the Gomperts.
Okay, sorry. That was my chance of dying, and your chance of dying, Brian. Had it not been a pandemic year.
Oh, is it much higher?
So it's probably gone up a little bit.
Oh no.
But we're still here.
I got the vaccine. I'm feeling better.
Yeah, feeling fine.
Yeah.
All
I'm licking
right.
doorknobs.
Oh wow.
I'm ready to go.
Licking doorknobs and fancy free. So that's it for the movie background. Are you fellas ready to jump into this thing?
Thwip.
Do I look like the mayor of Tokyo to you?
I mean, a little bit.
I don't know. I've never seen the mayor.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah, possibly. Here we go. Well, I loved how he doubled down on the Tokyo 2 thing.
Yeah.
I think he was like, all right, so get out of here and tell the denizens of Tokyo. It's like, yeah, we got it, Dennis.
Like it's a Godzilla joke. Huh?
All right, so here we go, everybody. This is The Amazing Spider-Man. We open on a child-sized Peter Parker. He's playing hide and seek with his dad, but during the course of the game, he finds his dad's home office with the window open. It's been ransacked. He calls his dad in and grabs some hidden files. Peter and his wife, and they run for it.
Is there some chance that the opening line was maybe a dig at I don't know, fans who wanted a Tobey Maguire to come back?
What was the opening line?
Oh, he counts down and he says, "Ready or not, here I come."
Oh,
I know that's standard hide and seek.
It is. It is in the hide and seek bylaws. Yes.
If you're in the business.
Yeah. The parlance of hide and seek. But
not necessarily a dig, but like a pointed line.
A little something like
earlier?
There was a little bit like a Rhodey's line in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, I'm here. Deal with it. Or
Yeah.
I'm here. It's me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe. So, all right. So, Peter's dad takes him to his brother Ben's house and abandons him there. Then Peter and his mom and dad say goodbye and leave.
They went to go buy cigarettes, right?
Milk.
Gonna buy a lottery ticket and some cigarettes. I'll be right back.
They moved to a farm upstate.
Yeah,
They get
where
turned
his-
into fucking glue, man. You don't have
where
to.
his second secret family lives.
There's a BoJack Horseman, the character Mr. Peanut Butter, voiced by Paul F. Tompkins, he's a dog, and his name is Mr. Peanut Butter. But he's BoJack's mom died, and he's like, "Oh, I feel bad. I've never had a parent die." And his wife is like, "Your parents aren't alive." He's like, "Yes, they are. They went to a farm upstate, and oh my God, my parents are dead." So all right, we cut to 10 years later. Peter's in high school. He's getting bullied by Flash Thompson. He's not
Flash.
Flash.
Is that a nickname or is that his actual like Christian name?
It is a nickname. His Christian name being Eugene.
Which
That's right.
because he calls him.
Eugene.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Let's see. He's not having any luck with the ladies. They want him to take pictures of their boyfriends' cars. And he's a cool, radical to the extreme skateboarding teen.
Poochie or
Which-
what's
I don't know if you guys ever played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. There was an unlockable Spider-Man.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes,
So-
two. Pro
Yeah,
Skater 2.
That's right. Yeah, which was incredible. It was the coolest thing ever as a kid. But yeah, seeing this at first, I thought there was much promise, and then yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't really factor into anything later on, did it?
Yeah, they definitely overdid it, I think.
Well, there was a lot of skateboarding, then suddenly there wasn't.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in this movie where like there was a thing that they were doing, then suddenly they just weren't doing that thing
Well,
anymore.
I don't want to get into this too early, but did you guys read any of the leaked Sony emails during the North Korea hack of Sony?
Oh, I mean, a little bit. It was a while back.
The-
I don't remember much.
The Amazing Spider-Man stuff was some of the most like just blatant cash grab shit I've ever seen ever. They were talking about like product placements and things like that and Bing searches. But the skateboarding thing was like, how do we make Spider-Man relevant? We make him skateboard quite a bit. That's what people want to see. A hip, young, rebellious skateboarding Spider-Man. And it is like the most like hello fellow kids shit I've ever read ever.
Like that's 1991 levels of relating to the kids. Like what the hell, guys?
It's really bad. But yeah. You gotta look it up. It's hilarious.
Oh, wow. It's crazy that in 2012 they were still like young rebellious skateboarders. That's what the teens are into.
And I'm pretty sure Kevin Feige there's a couple of his emails being like, please don't. Please make a movie. Don't do any of that.
And they're like, no, we're Sony. Fuck you.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Peter takes some pictures of Gwen Stacy, who he has a crush on. He gets beat up by Flash for defending a weaker kid, but Gwen steps in.
So Emma Stone is playing Gwen as if she's 30 years old or something. Like she's an adult in all of her scenes. It's just she's out of place.
School teacher,
right? But she just has to go in every day for social studies and shit. Yet she has full access to Oscorp and its labs and all that.
No, she's a. What I was saving this for my my unanswered questions, but what kind of multinational science corporation hires and has their head intern a high school student?
Yeah.
That's for like graduate students, like college graduate students. Like
Clear Channel gave me a key to a radio station at one point when I was 17, and that shit was shocking to me. Like, this is a giant corporation.
I wouldn't hire I wouldn't hire a high school student to be an intern for this show, much less for the.
Yeah, she has a lot of clearance.
Yeah, she does.
And a lot of
That being said, if there are any like 30 somethings that want an internship, hit us up. Let us know.
Yeah, we will hire interns.
But first,
no pay, you'll love it.
She wants to give a tour inside the semi-secret lab that's working on questionable ethical experiments. Like, we're going to start the tour here.
Right here. Don't ignore the crime.
Don't worry, I have a code. Senior year.
Woo! All right. So at home, Peter and Uncle Ben are cleaning out the basement. It got flooded. He finds his dad's old briefcase.
Peter has never been in the basement of their house before.
Never once.
He's never been in this room ever in his entire life.
Well, I can see better with all this water at my knees.
Right.
Yeah. So he finds the briefcase. Initially, he finds a picture of his dad with a doctor. Initially, Uncle Ben is like, I don't know who that is.
Looks like he's got one arm.
Yeah, he must be the guy that killed the wife from The Fugitive.
It wasn't Richard Kimball.
Harrison Ford is innocent. All right.
Somebody get Tommy Lee Jones on the horn.
Somebody
Call
check
Tommy.
every outhouse, boathouse, doghouse.
Oh, I almost forgot. Little side note: Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone were actually dating when they made this film. So all that hot Garfield.
Oh wow,
is real.
All that lasagna.
She was probably what, 20 or something. So he was 28, and they started dating.
So
She wasn't that old, was she?
She's 5 years younger.
Okay, so 23.
I don't know if you guys keep
Okay,
up on
yeah, that's
the
not weird.
current events of pop culture, but our current Peter Parker and MJ are rumored to be dating.
Yes. I saw a thing about that and then
Tom
probably
Holland?
forgot because I don't generally care. But
I thought Tom Holland was gay, but maybe I.
She is like 4 or 5 inches taller than him, and it is amazing.
He is a short man. You know who else is a short man? Is Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yeah. The two of them. That's the only time they don't wear lifts is when they're in scenes together.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, but in Avengers, there's a scene where he's wearing shoes whose soles are like this thick, while what's her face?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow is like barefoot and like kind of like leaning at a weird crouch, just so like she's not taller than him.
She's tall and lanky. She's slender, man.
She is Slender Woman.
Slender Woman.
Slender Woman.
Right. It's not related to the creepypasta.
It's a Jenny Craig thing. All right. So let's see. He finds out his dad worked for Oscorp. He finds a secret compartment with some papers with a secret formula on it. I think it might be for Krabby Patties.
The Coca-Cola recipe.
Yeah. It's 11 herbs and spices.
I've only identified 9, but stay with me.
I think the 10th may be cumin. Uncle Ben, after initially lying about it for no apparent reason, comes and tells Peter that Dr. Connors was his dad's partner and best friend, but he hasn't seen him since Peter's dad died. Peter does some banging on his computer.
It's funny. He's like, my brother's scientific partner doesn't call me or visit anymore.
Peter's like, that's suspicious. I better bang it.
Yeah, what would he have to say to you, Ben?
Right. All right. So let's see. He finds out that Dr. Connors is a geneticist working to splice human and animal genes, certainly not to create a race of lizard people. Peter goes to Oscorp pretending to be an intern candidate. He ruins a man's life.
Career. Yeah, life.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's led on a tour by head intern Gwen Stacy. He impresses Dr. Connors with his answers about his work.
Apparently, he's the only intern here who binged Kurt Connors before showing up to the intern.
Before showing up, yeah.
Bing it.
Like, stem cells? Promising, but no. Something more radical.
Something perhaps you find out about me on Bing.
Yeah, they all seem pretty dim-witted being candidates for that particular scientist. Yeah.
Well, they can't all be high school students. So, yeah. All right. So, Dr. Okay. So, yeah, he impresses Dr. Connor. Then Gwen confronts him about his ruse and tells him not to get her in trouble. But then he sneaks away, snooping like snoopers do. He sees
snoopers be snooping.
Snoopers gonna snoop. Yep. He sees the 00 key signifier thingy from his dad's secret papers on a door.
On a stack of papers, like.
Well, no, he sees like it's on the door too. Like, he sees it on the papers, so he follows the guy with the papers, and then it's on a door. So he's like, "Ooh, they put the secret formula symbol on these doors."
On these doors.
Yeah. So he sneaks into a restricted room, and then he sneaks into the spider room.
Right. Which incidentally looks exactly like the back of my dryer. It's terrifying back there.
Yeah, this made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was weird.
Well, what's
Ooh.
funny is, luckily for his sake, he snuck in right at the 4 o'clock spider dropping. But suddenly, for no reason,
shift change.
they all just fell on
Like
him.
at the grocery store when the sprinkler comes on.
Yeah, and it starts playing Singing in the Rain.
Shake those spiders, shake.
Well, I don't know if it was related, but the machine stopped right when he plucked one of the webs.
And
And
the vibration made it.
possibly made the spiders fall off. Yeah, okay. That was unclear.
The machinery stopped spinning. Yeah, I don't know if it was related. It was something.
Al,
that
you're a
happened.
scientist. Any speculation as to what this spinning spider web machine was doing? Were they
yes,
incubating them?
It's a low speed centrifuge that is drawing the webs out of their web
buttholes.
Buttholes.
Yeah. Their Thor.
Their web.
Their web hole.
In the parlance, what scientists would refer to as a butthole.
So it's like a spider web rotisserie minus the slow cooking.
Yeah.
Oh, to keep them warm? Is that what you're saying?
Science.
Well,
Well,
why
I
do they
don't-
have to spin? I think that was the question, really.
Oh, it's the centrifugal force is drawing the webbing out of their buttholes.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I was so concentrating on butthole.
It's like the centrifugal force of the earth draws the poop out of your butthole.
Exactly.
It's moving at a fantastic rate.
Oh my lord. Okay, so yes, he gets spidered.
You've been spidered.
He gets bit by a genetically modified spider. This is all strangely familiar.
Yeah. Remember when reactive just meant you were a DJ?
So all right, we discover that Dr. Connors is under pressure to complete Peter's dad's work by evil corporate man because Norman Osborn is dying. So
Wait, he's dying? Did they say that?
Yeah.
I missed
Yeah.
that.
Yes,
A couple times, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the reason evil guy wants the formula so that he can cure Norman Osborn, who is dying off screen.
He's in a bed in the second one, isn't he? That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So all right. Peter leaves the lab. He has some hijinks on the subway, commits some light sexual assault.
yeah.
And the dude, Rudy, looked like a homeless. All right. He was very disheveled. Everything was all dirty and scraped
I
up,
thought
but he was sort of on a date with the woman whose blouse got ripped
Right.
off.
I thought it was like a weird, like all those guys seemed like a gang of like weird homeless subway thugs, but they were
and
also
then they're two like
pretending-
nightclubbing chicks.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was really a weird scene. And also, when you spill something on somebody, why would you pat them where it spilled with your bare hand, even if you didn't have sticky spider hands?
Dude, he just woke
Awkward.
up. He's not thinking straight.
To be fair.
He has also been bit by a radioactive spider. It was the spinning that really disoriented him.
Yeah, when he was in the spider centrifuge. He got all dizzy.
He's still
taking that
overcoming
off.
that.
And all those guys are on their way to a group date at Coney Island.
At Coney Island, final stop.
Well,
that explains why, I don't know, they look
I
like
would
homeless people.
I would point out, I'm not an expert on the New York subway system. I've visited Manhattan once only, and it's been quite some time. But I don't remember Coney Island being on the way to Queens from Manhattan.
No, it's not. I was going to say it's in Brooklyn. And so, yeah, he fell asleep. That's why he missed his spot. But he wouldn't have gotten to Queens on that train.
No. But again, Spider maybe just got on the wrong train.
Well, he's asleep. That's what I imagine. Maybe you're supposed to train.
Yeah.
It's
He fell asleep. He missed his stop. He was
To
supposed
change trains or something,
Yeah,
maybe?
something
I don't
like that.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, they're not close. Brooklyn and Queens.
No. All right. So let's see. He goes home and acts extremely high. I don't know why there wasn't like a joke about like, what have you taken? Are you like, did you get into your Aunt May's? Like,
well, doesn't May say alcohol or drunk? And Ben's like, I don't think so. Is this when Peter came in and got all the food?
Yeah. I mean, he's clearly acting high.
Yeah, but they're standing in the door jam while he's collecting food, and yeah, she's like drunk with a question mark, and he's like, I don't think so. So they kind of
okay, I guess. Either way, they're pretty like, well, I'm sure he can wander off with all that food and be just fine. We won't check up on him at all. But okay, so he wakes up. He's strangely sticky. But
yeah, that metaphor done over and over.
My
body.
He's also strong. Yeah, we get another puberty metaphor. Thank you, Spider-Man, for giving us.
Don't come in
again.
Yeah,
again.
Get it.
I did not need this to be another Spider origin story.
I agree.
Like, if we had just started off with him as Spider-Man and it had been the lizard story, I would have been fine.
I agree. But it's just like Batman. They got to tell us every time.
That's the beauty of the newest iteration of Spider-Man is that they ran with that. They're like, fuck it, whatever. He's Spider-Man.
Yes, I was so happy about that.
Uncle Ben has been dead for years. Nobody gives a shit. Like,
it doesn't matter. Yes,
you've read about Spider-Man. You've seen the movies.
You know who Spider-Man. If you are watching the Spider-Man movie, you know who he is.
I mean, if you're alive today, Spider-Man and Superman and like Batman, Donald Trump and Barack Obama are like the most recognizable names and faces in the world.
Yeah.
You could go to like some village in Asia and people would be like, oh yeah, I know Spider-Man, right? Bit by a radioactive spider. His uncle dies.
Yeah, exactly. And also, can you please save us from working for Nike for 3 cents an hour?
Like, no, just keep. We'll come back in 10 years and ask you these same questions.
Why do people come and ask us questions about Spider-Man every 10 years?
When the moon is full.
All right.
The International Spider-Man Census.
Which happens every 10 years.
My spider census is tingling.
Okay, so he does some more banging, this time about spider bites. Dad's secret formula.
This was also gross.
Yes, yeah.
Why do we have to look at all these pictures?
When he was pulling the spider webbing out of the bite.
Is that his new butthole?
He's like, it's my spider butthole.
I got a brand new butthole.
So no, that webbing didn't come from him. That came from the spider that was still attached to the end of the strand.
Well,
it was at the bottom of it.
I was a little confused. So like the spider bit him and then inserted webbing into the wound?
I guess.
That's how you get those spider webs on your wrists. You would think that it explained this is how he can do the webbing.
Right.
But he builds, thankfully it's not like organic webbing like it was in the Raimi version.
Such a wonderful surprise.
Oh my God. That was a decision I quite enjoyed. It not being a weird wrist secretion. So, all right. Let's see. He goes to visit Dr. Connors, reveals he's Dr. Parker's son, shows him his dad's formula, saying he came up with it all by himself, like a big boy. Then at school, he humiliates Flash at basketball, breaking the backboard.
Yeah, he starts to get dickish. I don't like it.
Yes, he's totally a dick.
He's Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3 at this point,
and he kind of remains for most of the movie. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So All right, this scene. This scene is insane. So in this gym, this small gym, I might add, it's not like a gym the size like we had in our high school. It's a pretty small gym. We have
Maybe half the size.
Yeah, maybe half the size. We have concurrently basketball practice, cheerleader practice, making signs for the for an upcoming dance, kids studying, kids just sitting and watching. There was easily a 35-year-old man I noticed with a backpack just sitting in the stands looking at what's going on.
Yeah, we know why he's there.
Somebody should call the authorities.
Yes, but what hour is this? Is this after school? Is this? Did they just schedule 4 classes at once in here? Like, what is happening in this gym that all
like a free
disparate
period.
groups are doing different things at once and getting in each other's way?
After school makes the most sense, I think. But
It does, but then also it doesn't seem like it's after school because I don't know.
Lunchtime.
Could have been lunchtime, but again, that's a lot
There-
going on in a single gym.
Yeah.
A teacher should maybe have said, "Hey, why don't you go make the sign in the arts room or something?"
or the hallway. I remember in high school they would,
Yeah.
do it in the hallway. Yeah.
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 All right. Anyways, so he gets in trouble. Uncle Ben comes to talk to the principal. Peter says he got community service. Schools don't hand out community service.
No, there's not a lot they can do except to
They can-
expel you.
They can expel him or give or suspend him or give him detention, which would have made a lot more sense than
Right.
community service.
But, ooh, so scary. Yeah. Yeah, they can't do that.
No,
That's a sentence.
that's what the judge gives you after
Right.
the police arrest you and you get convicted of the crime.
Yeah, a sentence.
Yeah. So all right, he Uncle Ben wants Peter to meet Aunt May at her work to escort her home that night. Peter and Gwen flirt and kind of make a little bit of a date, but not. It's all very awkward and like, ooh, we're a teen movie.
I'm 28. Don't tell.
Don't tell anybody. There was a 21 Jump Street situation.
Exactly.
So then after school, we get a scene of him discovering his powers and being a cool radical skateboarder.
It's so hard when Martin Sheen was giving him these little earnest, talks or whatever. It's like if you close your eyes, it's just President Bartlett.
Oh my God, so much.
His calmness, his demeanor, pragmatic. Yeah.
Well, and yeah, absolutely. I love just hearing Martin Sheen talk. That man can just talk for hours.
Mm-hmm.
At Oscorp, he visits Dr. Connors, who lets him do some science. We see there's we meet Chekhov's cloud dispersing machine.
Literally, it's a gun sitting on a fucking mantelpiece.
Yes.
So stupid.
It can disperse antigens over an entire city. But what with all the laws about not giving people drugs and medicine against their will,
Chemical warfare. That is literally chemical warfare. That is against the Geneva fucking Convention.
that machine should have been destroyed years ago.
That whole wing of the Oscorp building should have been fucking locked down and taken over by the FBI.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, all right.
Yeah, the gas poses a lot of questions.
A lot of questions. All right. So, Peter and Connor successfully use his dad's formula to regrow a mouse limb.
It doesn't work a few times, and then it works.
Yeah.
It says he dies flatline.
They change none of the elements. And they just keep running the same simulation over and over and over again until it works. And they're like, sweet, it works.
Right.
That's not
like
fucking
fixing their
science works.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Well, yes, no.
They're like the fawns hitting the fucking jukebox.
There's nothing in this movie that is actually how science works.
No, of course not. But
But I mean,
was odd.
even that, you think you could fake it a little bit and be like, oh, well, yeah, you know.
What if we
were
change this-
changing an individual digit or something?
Yeah.
Like we changed the A to a T or a G or a C. It took 4 times.
Also, that wasn't even so much a formula. It wasn't like 1 part this and 7 parts that. It was literally just like math.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
It was an equation, not a formula.
I'm sorry, an equation. Yes, thank you, Science Al. So, yeah, they regrow the mouse limb. Peter ignores his uncle's phone calls. He gets home, and Uncle Ben is angry for not picking up Aunt May.
Angry Martin Sheen has some real like real angry dad vibes in this. I was like,
God.
I'm actually kind of startled by this.
Yeah, Martin Sheen.
He can do that. Yeah, he
Woo,
does it.
He was
Dude can act, man.
However, if nobody's seen Grace and Frankie on Netflix, it's
I love
really
Grace and
good.
Frankie.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
Him and Sam Waterston are the gay couple.
which is the best
They're
gay
great.
couple ever. Yeah.
Oh, they're so
And
good.
he's like yelling at him and mad and pouty.
Mhm.
Oh,
Martin got a lot of angry dad practice with Charlie and Emilio.
yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. Oh God, I bet he did. Yeah. Absolutely. Interesting anecdote about Sally Field in this film. She was asked what in an interview with Howard Stern, she was asked what sort of preparations she did for this role, and she said none whatsoever. There's no character. I showed up and said my lines. I only did the movie because it was my best friend's final job as a producer. I can't remember the name of the producer, but
Webb.
yeah, but before one of the executive producers was like her friend. So I took the job in order to work with her one last time before she retired.
So she goes. So it's the same as like Anthony Hopkins. No acting required. He writes on the
Exactly.
script.
Yeah, she's like, I showed up, I said lines, and I went home and didn't think about it ever again.
Wow.
So yeah.
Whereas Martin Sheen is like, I'm going to get an Oscar for fucking Spider-Man.
Martin Sheen is like, I give it all, every role,
Every
no matter
time.
what. Yeah, I'm gonna Sheen the fuck out of this.
Give me something to chew.
Yes. So at this point, he gives him the great power, great responsibility speech without ever saying that.
If you can do something, you should. I guess your dad said something like that once.
Yeah, he's like, your
The
dad.
more you know.
Your dad had a philosophy. If you are able to do good in the world, you have
a moral obligation.
the moral
Right.
obligation to do that thing.
Who is that? Is that Kant? No, it's not. But that's a whole school of thought in
Well,
philosophy.
yeah, it is, and it's exactly
It's not just his dad.
Yeah, but it's also
Your dad
yes.
thought of this.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just his dad, but also it's the same thing. Just say the fucking line.
But I mean, with
No,
great
just say the
power
line.
comes great responsibility is poetry. It is
Yes.
literally like, God, you could put it on a bumper sticker,
Yeah.
put it on a t-shirt. This shit,
Beautiful credo.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's so linked to Spider-Man at this point. Just say the line. Just say it. Anyways, so he gets mad.
I think you were right, Josh. I think it was Kant.
All right, cool.
Although
What a
I
Kant.
think he used the phrase categorical imperatives.
Ooh.
That would make sense,
fancy.
yeah, depending on situations. Yeah.
All right, so Peter gets mad. They fight about his dad. He storms out, breaks the front door. Who in Queens has a front door that is 90% glass?
I don't understand those anywhere.
Yes, anywhere. But like if you're in a small town in Georgia, like, okay, but
Sure.
Queens,
Yeah.
No bars on the door.
yeah, it seems like a bad idea. I know Queens isn't like all bad neighborhood or anything, but
It's still New York.
still, yeah.
Well, right. It doesn't matter. Yeah, anyone would be able to get into your home if they wanted to.
Yeah, with
Bad
no
enough.
problem. And
With
there's
no problem.
and there's lots of people
Well,
in the greater New York area who would like to get into people's.
I would like to get in there.
Uncle Ben considers himself to be pretty adept with these hands, as we see later on.
Yeah, he's
It's
a fighter.
I studied martial arts or something.
Have you guys?
Colonel Kurtz taught me everything.
One of my favorite videos was just scenes of Martin Sheen putting on a jacket over and over again.
Dude.
The way he flips it around is beautiful.
Yeah.
He's the narration in the beginning of JFK, and
Ooh.
I just love it. It puts me in a trance instantly.
All right, so Peter goes to get to drown his sorrows in some chocolate milk, but the man in the bodega has some pretty strict rules about the take a penny tray.
Yeah.
Well, and such a weird interaction with someone who probably shops there all the time, comparing that to like our current Peter Parker being like, how's your kids?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, I'll get the same weird sandwich I get every time. This is like Peter is on vacation.
Yeah.
And he's mad.
Yeah.
Like this.
He doesn't know Ben's dead yet, but he's already just fucking mad.
Well, this fucking dude at the bodega, like, who is that aggro against a guy from your neighborhood? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Excellent point, but
which I have further questions, which we'll get to as we get through this bodega scene.
This bodega scene drove me insane. It was
people do not act like this, period.
No, humans don't act like
2
this.
cents.
It's like he was like Arlie Ermy, like
yeah,
over a penny.
There are no rules to the take a penny tray. If you need a penny, you take it. Period. There's no rules. Those aren't his pennies.
They're not your pennies.
Yes,
they were donated. They're change. You don't
weird.
get them. They're for us. Yeah, it's weird.
So fucking weird.
Well, he's the store clerk is angry because he didn't get that comic book store gig.
That's a good boy. Yeah.
So, all right. So the bodega is robbed by the lead singer of Nickelback. And then some Peter stands aside, lets him take it because the clerk was an asshole to him.
And he takes the stolen milk.
Yes, he takes the stolen milk. And so the guy runs off with $50. And the clerk of the store leaves the store and runs after him.
He does not lock up.
Nope.
He just leaves the bodega.
I have worked in a number of convenience store situations throughout my life. You don't do that.
No.
Never do that.
You just call the cops.
Yeah. I mean, you never chase them.
When I worked for a corporate convenience store years ago, they made you watch videos which drove home the point of, if someone steals something, let them then call the police. Never chase them. Don't try to stop them. Do nothing. Give them the money. Let them take the beer and then just call the cops.
You clearly didn't work there long enough, because at a certain point they show you the martial arts videos. And once you're past that point, you can then fight criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then the bodega guy runs out and he's like, how about some help, kid? You want a minor?
Right.
That you were just addicted. But
to chase after this guy who stole $50 from you?
Like, comparing this to the Tobey Maguire wrestling scene, they set that up so well.
Yeah.
That's not my policy. And he says it as he lets the guy in the elevator. Boom. Makes sense.
And that's on brand. You know, Peter did say and do that even in his first appearance. But yeah, he never gets out of angry, I don't think. He never gets out of that mode.
Well, he doesn't. And the whole situation is just so much dumber than the wrestling situation from the first film.
Yeah.
And the wrestling situation is literally a wrestling manager. That's stupid.
Bonesaw is ready.
Yeah.
But it makes sense in context as a character developing thing.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, especially then. Okay, so then he's running down the street, the robber, and he trips and his gun falls out onto the street right in front of Uncle Ben. So what Uncle Ben does, instead of nothing, because this guy wasn't threatening to shoot anybody, the gun just fell his pocket, basically. He wasn't going to shoot anybody. He wasn't doing anything but running away with $50.
Mhm.
Uncle Ben decides to wrestle him for the gun.
Well, they didn't explain this in the movie, but Ben Parker is a gun collector. And this is one gun that he had his eye on for a long time, just hadn't found it at any gun shop or any gun show. So once he saw his opportunity, he was like, I'm going to take that one.
That's free gun.
Yeah.
He wasn't being a good Samaritan. He was just being a gun collector. It's America.
Well, and that criminal, he obviously sat down and posed for his composite sketch.
Oh, God, yes.
It's so fucking...
Yeah, so...
Maybe
so
they had
at-
him on camera.
Yeah.
Well, you
Maybe.
just have the picture of him from the camera. You
Right.
can
Yeah,
draw
well,
like an artist.
sketch artist.
Yeah.
Like I traced it from the frame.
Looks just like him. It's uncanny.
So after Uncle Ben decides to die for somebody else's $50,
It's just, composite. Sorry, I'm sorry. Like they're around the neighborhood. And it's like, has anyone seen Steve?
Well, and this sketch, it is clearly the lead singer of Nickelback. But
Yeah.
there are 400 lead singers of Nickelback in New York City, allowing Peter to chase down all of these criminals that look just like
they're
him.
all doing crimes. All the lead singers of Nickelback are doing crimes.
Other
Clearly,
than musical crimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
the record deal is not paying well enough.
So yeah, Peter finally gets his origin story. Yay.
At what moment is this, or at what minute in the movie is this?
5 minutes into the movie at this point. 45 minutes.
They should have just opened with Uncle Ben getting shot. Like, just
Honestly, and this is 45 minutes into the story. They could have cut out a solid 35 minutes of this and just had the lizard stuff, and this movie would have been under 2 hours.
yeah.
So, all right, Peter's sad about Uncle Ben. Flash becomes strangely empathetic. Flash had the most character development in the movie.
Yeah.
Which still doesn't make any sense. You think he'd be like, your fucking uncle died, you piece of shit?
He had a whole different movie going on off screen. Flash, learning to do like pottery, like bonding with like a grandmother that died. Like
He's got a very effective therapist. It's like Robin Williams is his therapist or something. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they were always frenemies.
Yeah.
In the comics, yeah.
Well, yeah, but like just between the previous
This
scene,
one.
the previous time we saw Flash and now, he had a lot of character development that was not broadcast.
He like comes up to hug Peter.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense.
So Peter looking for criminals that looked like the guy from Nickelback. He stops a guy that's beating up a girl. Another scene where I'm like, what is happening in this scene? Where do all these people keep coming from? Were they all there waiting to beat up this girl?
So
who are these guys?
We see a lot of New York as Peter starts to look for these criminals. We've seen some of his high school, and we had this question about the first Spider-Man, but they did not do anything to course correct. This is the whitest fucking New York ever.
Ooh, yeah.
Everybody is long blonde hair, or button-up shirt, polo wearing with khakis, kind of like white people. Or they're like East Asian, like Imran Khan's character. I don't know. This is the weirdest New York.
Yeah.
But also specifically in the scene, who are these guys?
Yeah.
There's one guy beating up a girl. Peter runs to beat him up, and 7 other guys run out of the other side of the alley. And
the woman calls the assailant Nikki. She immediately does that, like, leave him alone type thing. I can't remember the line, but something, Nikki, don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
But, like,
So she wasn't being...
What is this situation? Like, I don't understand who these guys are that ran out to help Nikki.
As they start pursuing him, they are coming out of the woodwork. There are people coming out of the rooftop of this building, out of other buildings. This is like Hell's Kitchen level of like crime syndicate thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, Yeah, it was baffling to me what was even happening in this.
Well, they
scene.
needed
These
more people
were-
for him to fight than the last time we saw Peter fight somebody.
So instead of setting up an actual situation, they were like, "Yeah, what if we just have guys that just come out for him to fight?
Mm-hmm.
They just show up. It's fine."
Well, it's the common movie trope. You hear a commotion, you go out and fight.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Two people start fighting, everybody starts fighting. We're going to see it in Every Which Way But Loose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, just imagine a guy like at a date, like, I gotta go, I'll be right back. He runs out to fight Peter Parker. Bank manager. Ooh, a fight. I'm gonna go fight this guy.
And he's not just like quippy like the real Peter is. He's sort of hostile and sort of like bullyish when he's talking to the other criminals, and even the cops like, "This is how you repay me," and shit like that. It's just he would make fun of these dudes that he had like webbed to a wall.
Yeah,
like little microaggressions, kind of.
Oh god,
hostile.
Yeah. Or say something to the cop like, "You're not a very good shot," as he leaves. Not, "I did all your job for you, you piece of human excrement."
But you're right. That's closer to Spider-Man.
Yeah,
he made lots of quips and jokes, but these felt like, I don't know.
These are
undercurrent of hostility. Yeah,
yeah.
And
you like that? How about this? You like that? You like that?
And a little off topic, but Andrew Garfield's hair is way, way too big for that mask.
Yeah. Well,
That's
it's
true.
also inconsistently long and short throughout this movie.
Yes, he clearly got several haircuts during the filming.
And then some hair plugs. They scotch taped the hair they had cut.
So the unexplained spider power of hair growth and ungrowth.
It goes out and in.
My hairdo retracts.
Retractable hair.
Think of all the money he saves on barbershop trips.
Yeah, that's the only benefit.
All right, so he realizes he needs to wear a mask after they see his face. So
they shout at him, "I saw your face. I know who you are."
He's like, "Oh yes."
Meanwhile, Peter's like, "Yeah, good luck. I've been looking for the lead singer of Nickelback for days."
Right.
New York's big and full of white people. We all look alike.
New York City's such a small town, you know.
Yeah.
I saw your face. You saw a white kid's face.
A white guy's face, yeah. So, all right. Let's see. He steals some tech from Oscorp to create his web shooters. Then we get a scene of him discovering his powers again and learning to web sling.
And to use the bathroom and to...
to live and love and laugh.
We meet Captain Stacy, Gwen's dad. He's a cop. He doesn't like the new vigilante in town who's beating up all the criminals, all the guys who look like Nickelback.
So I have a question about the Stacy family. Are they like the Foremans? Like George named his daughter Gwen. He has a son named Greg and another daughter named Georgina.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah, they're all G's.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Huh, yeah. The Stacys are a weird family, I feel like.
It's always Thanksgiving dinner at their house.
Yes. Well, yeah, they have to dress up for dinner every night. Like, what?
Those kids aren't in suits.
Yeah.
I think I remember pick up on that.
I think I remember one of them being called Philip.
Oh, yeah, because he made hot chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
I got Philip, Howard, and Simon.
It was Howard that made some hot
The
chocolate.
Stacy brothers, you know. So, all right. So, yeah, Peter, Commander Stacy or Captain Stacy doesn't like the vigilante beating up the guys who look like Chad Nickelback. Then Peter displays his screen printing skills and his sewing skills in a costume montage. Another movie where Peter has a lot of like DIY skills.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and this time it's inspired by a luchador.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Which, I mean, that's fine, but also,
and then
also
speed
there's
skaters.
yes. Yes. There's an abandoned There's an abandoned Mexican wrestling place in the middle of Queens.
Some good real estate. Yeah.
Yeah. That's expensive. That's like a $12 million like.
Maybe it's just the off season.
Oh,
maybe they're a touring luchador group. They're traveling
who
through
own
the
their own
Midwest.
luchador wrestling building.
They observe Wrestler Awareness Month.
So let's see. Peter then stops a car thief. This is I think the scene you're talking about, Josh, where he's like super like aggressive and he like covers his mouth so he can't breathe and like
sticks him to the wall and then taunts him. Yeah.
Well, and like web slings his crotch for no reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. The covering of the nose and the mouth thing and waiting for him to panic before he pokes his fingers up his nose. It's like, this is the worst villainous Spider-Man ever.
It's half a step away from waterboarding, honestly.
Yeah. Right. And it's not like he stopped him from murdering someone or sexually assaulting someone. Stealing a car. Not cool. Against the law. But it usually works itself out because they're fucking registered.
Is this Chad from Nickelback? Is this our Chad, the one we're looking for?
Is it?
No, this is not Chad Nickelback. This was a police plant who was doing a thing with the cops because
we never find Chad Nickelback.
Yeah, at this point, Chad from Nickelback is dropped as a plot line, right?
Yes, we never hear about Chad Nickelback again.
Just like their career.
So Peter just lets his uncle's death go. This is it.
Yeah.
He's over it.
Gets over it.
He's done. This is the last of it. No more Uncle Ben's death being a plot point. It's done. And it's unresolved.
Well, he went on to start Nickelback and have a successful record career. So
this is Nickelback's origin story.
It's all Spider-Man's fault.
Robbing bodegas on the side.
So all right, as he goes home, Aunt May confronts him for staying out all night, fighting, getting eggs. Then meanwhile,
he keeps telling her to go to sleep.
He covers your mouth. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Webs her face.
Like, really, man, go to sleep. Go to sleep. He says it twice at least.
It's like, how many roofies do I have to put in your drink? Go to sleep.
Yeah. Creepily ordering your aunt to, get in bed.
Meanwhile, at Oscorp, Dr. Connors refuses to start human trials on the formula, but evil corporate guy tells him he's fired if he doesn't. He alludes to some secret with Peter's parents. Dr. Connors still says no, so the evil corporate guy just takes the formula with him. Then, back in high school, Gwen invites Peter to dinner with her family. Meanwhile, in the lab, Dr. Connors tests the serum on himself. I'm sure that's going to go fine.
Yeah, and he hits it, and it's like he took heroin or something. It's just like,
he starts screaming, back to formula.
He got a Jim Morrison dose of that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
I am the Lizard King.
He is. All right. So Peter arrives for dinner at Gwen's family via the 20th story window. Gwen was not interested enough in how he got up there. He asked, but she accepted, like, I climbed the fire escape pretty.
Yeah.
What does he say? Your doorman is very intimidating. That was actually a funny line.
It was.
Say.
Peter, oh yes, okay. Then Dr. Connor wakes up. He has a new arm. I got a new arm.
How's the skin going?
The skin needs a little work still.
It's all flaky.
Yeah.
Like gooey still though too.
It's like a croissant. Like crispy layers.
It was flaky. It was crispy, flaky layers, but then on top was like a layer of like honey glaze.
Slime.
Like baklava. It was like baklava.
Yeah, honey dusted. Yeah.
So, all right.
Delicious Greek sweet lizard arm.
Yes.
Yeah. Why does he lose the arm? It has
So
to
do
be
you
a
think
lizard arm?
did he eat the skin?
Oh, I wonder.
Yeah.
But like, why would
Is
it
that
go?
why he became an entire lizard?
Why would your arm shrink and then? I know this isn't real science, but
Why would it go away when it wears off?
right?
I don't know. because
You have to. They even show it with the tail, where Peter rips the tail off and it regenerates.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but when
When
the
he's
serum
not that
stops,
all-
when the
You
serum,
what?
When he's full lizard, yeah.
but when
And then so matter just disintegrates and then
What-
comes back
yeah, I mean, I
when
guess.
he's stressed out.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, when he
That is-
unlizards, he ungrows the arm. Which, yeah, you're right. That's dumb.
It just shrinks back into his arm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's actual matter. Where
But
does it go?
Yeah. Well, no, it falls off. Like the arm disintegrates into pieces and falls off.
Falls
But,
off,
like,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but why?
Why?
The science does not check out.
Do you think he eats that?
I would.
Even
Lots
if
of
the arm,
calories in that arm.
still looked like a lizard, and it was only the arm, I just don't get where it goes.
Well, no. It literally falls to pieces and falls off, so it goes on the ground. But why it does that?
It goes
So
to a
then he-
farm upstate.
that even screws it up more. All right.
So all right. Let's see. He tries to find evil corporate guy. Evil corporate guy is on his way to the Veterans Hospital to commit some crimes.
Evil corporate guy has a name, sir.
What's the evil corporate guy's name, Al?
Rajit Ratha.
Okay. Rajit.
Dr. Rajit Ratha.
So I'd like to point out that our only person of color in this film is like the most evil character in the film.
His only motivation is evil.
Yeah.
Well, Norman's dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that is his motivation. He's like, I love this man.
He's in love with Norman Osborn.
You think as evil as he is, he'd be like, fucking dude, let that guy die. I'm going to take over. We're going to call it, what's his last name?
Ratha.
Rothacor.
Rathcore.
Rathcore.
Well, and he's like Norman is dying, and if we don't work this out, both of our heads will roll or whatever. And it's like, from who? The dead guy?
Yeah. He's going to be dead.
Who's going to punish you for that?
He's got a contingency plan in place. His death will set off certain mechanisms,
Wherein, yes.
both physical and, I don't know,
The
in
video
the
will
law.
to the police or something. Yeah. So all right. So Dr. Connor heads out after him. He gets in a cab, but he starts getting a little lizardy. He starts lizarding out. Peter gets in a fight with Gwen's dad about vigilantism. He reveals to Gwen that he's Spider-Man. They kiss. Then Peter leaves after hearing the sirens. Gwen's dad rushes off too.
He reveals it by web shooting her in the ass.
Yes, and pulling her
Right.
to him, and yeah, the whole like awkward, like, oh, we're such funny, awkward teens. It was cute at first, but it started to wear. I thought by this scene
Well,
it was getting a little.
There were a few times when he had consent issues. You know?
Yes.
When she said she did not want to do A or B, and he would just like gaslight her and try to, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
very weird.
Yeah. So all right, then on the bridge, I didn't notice
Bridge fight.
Yeah, bridge fight. Another patented New York bridge fight.
Yep.
How many of these have we seen? Oh my lord.
And a child dangling off of something.
Yep. Again and
Um,
again and again and again.
All the Spider-Mans, Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
Was it in a Superman somewhere? I
know.
can't remember. I don't think
There
there's a
are more.
Superman bridge fight, but yeah.
Was it in an X-Men movie also?
Oh,
The Golden Gate.
the
Bridge.
Golden Gate Bridge was literally a bridge.
He actually
fight.
brings it to the fight.
It's like, I can't have a
I gotta get a bridge. We're
Well,
gonna
Charles loved to build bridges. So.
I can't believe I brought a knife to a bridge fight.
Exactly.
Boy, you brought a wharf to a bridge fight.
Hey,
A
Klingons are
boardwalk.
helpful, man.
Yeah. All right. So, on the bridge, there's the bridge fight. Evil guy is stuck in traffic. Mr. Lizard arrives to kill him.
Mr. Lizard.
That's
Like
Dr.
Mr.
Lizard to you.
Yeah,
That's right.
Dr.
He did
Professor
8
Lizard.
years in lizard medical school to be called Mr.
I would give my right arm to no.
All right. So, so then Spider-Man has to let the lizard get away so he can save the kid from the burning car. The kid's dad is super grateful. He's like, yo, crane operators in New York got your back now, Spidey man.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile,
Hey, sorry. Back on the balcony, that was the first time we heard the utterance of Spider-Man in this. Right when she named him, she's like, "You're Spider." When she finds out, she says, "You're Spider-Man."
okay, they hadn't said it previously, huh?
No, I don't think so. Because at dinner, the kid called him Spider Guy, Spider Guy, and then to the crane operator, to Jack's dad, he says, "I'm Spider-Man."
Okay.
So I think he took it from Gwen.
Oh, and that's the name. Okay, huh?
So
Interesting.
I think Gwen named him.
Yes. Huh. Okay, that's cool. So, all right. Meanwhile, in the sewer, Dr. Connor turns back into a human.
Okay. Are there that many lizards that live in New York City?
I looked this up. There are a few species of lizards native to the New York area, to the island of Manhattan. But my understanding is that there's not, they don't run rampant through the city. They're not like rats.
Right, because it gets very cold for a very long time.
Yes.
These were like geckos and anoles
chameleons and
little,
shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Tropical lizards.
I think they were all pet lizards that got flushed down the toilet.
that occurred to me too.
And then run out into the herds of lizards running through the streets of New York.
So many.
That was supposed to be a reflection of the telepathic control over reptiles.
I know what it was. Yeah, me too. But right,
the fact that there's those reptiles in the city at all for him to telepathically control
gets to sub-zero temperatures.
It's not Fort Lauderdale, where I'm sure the sewers are full of pet lizards.
I mean,
or Seattle, where they're so clean.
Well, I mean, we live in the Southwest. I walk outside my door and I see lizards running around all the time, but not like Josh is saying in New York, where it does get below zero quite often. Yeah.
And so, of course, another sewer laboratory.
Yes, another sewer lab.
Oh, hey, I totally forgot. Back on the bridge, Rajit Rotha's Dr. Rajit Rotha's driver, evil guy.
Yes.
His name was Alfred. The actor was Michael Papajohn, who was Uncle Ben's killer from the first Spider-Man movie.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I would also note that Rajit did not try to get out of the other side of the car at any point. No. The side that was not pinned up against the wall. Which was completely open and available for him to get out of and run away.
This is actually his first time in a car.
Of course.
He usually travels by lizard.
Oh, and also
maybe it was the first time he hasn't had the driver open the door for him.
Also, this is the last we see of Rajit. He disappears from the movie at this point.
Maybe the lizard ate him.
I think they only mentioned Norman one more time, but they dismissed that stuff.
Yeah, this plot point is over, done, gone. So then, let's see. Chief, I keep calling him Chief. Captain Stacy issues a warrant for Spider-Man's arrest. I would point out you can't issue a warrant for the arrest of a alter ego. Like, you have to have an actual human with like a social security number and like an ID to issue a warrant for that person's arrest.
Yeah.
So like you can say, we want to find out who Spider-Man is. And then when you find that out, issue a warrant for Peter Parker's arrest. But you can't issue a warrant for the arrest of a person who doesn't exist.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So, all right. He tells Gwen, or Peter Parker tells Gwen that he has to find the lizard to stop him. They do some kissing. And she's like, no, don't. I don't want you to die. And then Peter visits Dr. Connors again. Peter begins to suspect that Dr. Connors may be a lizard. What with all the lizard skin and the talk of enjoying lizards. And how awesome he thinks lizards are.
I did appreciate Peter making that giant web.
Yeah, that was cool.
You know what I mean? And then he, like a real spider, could feel the vibrations.
That's coming up. Yeah.
It was, oh, I thought we were there.
No, not yet. So this is the point where Peter goes to the chief or to the captain and tells him that Dr. Connors is the lizard.
He also has the evidence of Fred the mouse, who has grown larger and more reptilian and is currently eating Wilma.
That's right. Yes, he's a cannibal mouse now. A cannibal lizard
They
mouse.
were named Fred and Wilma?
They are
Like they were named Fred and Wilma. Yeah.
Oh.
It was cute. Yeah.
Until he ate Wilma.
Yes.
Wilma.
So yeah, Captain Stacy does not believe Peter. So then on the way home, Peter notices lizards going into the sewer. He sees in the Daily Bugle that there's an offer, a cash reward for proof of the lizard. This is the point where he goes down and makes the big web.
Right. It sticks the camera to the wall. That's true to the comic.
The camera, which says "property of Peter Parker" on it.
Yep.
Good move, Spidey. And then he waits. Meanwhile, Dr. Connors is making one of his classic YouTube videos.
Yeah, his vlog, his shitty vlog.
And he gives himself another dose of the old lizard juice. He changes into the lizard, finds Peter in the sewer. There's the big chase scene. Peter gets away, but not before the lizard finds his camera with Peter Parker's name on it. Now he knows who Spider-Man is. Then he does another go into Gwen's house, does another like, hey, I've got to stop him some more. It's all my fault. She's like,
he's very, very badly injured.
Yes, he is. And then he takes her on a swing around the city, like Superman style, except, no Mind Song. Meanwhile, back in the sewer, Dr. Connors decides he's discovered the cure for racism and incels. It's lizards. Like, seriously, that's what he's doing.
That lizard is such a Chad.
So he lizards up and heads to Peter's school.
The school fight was cool.
The school fight was cool. I really loved the Stan Lee cameo scene where
that was one of his best cameos for sure.
That was awesome. So yeah, he there's the big school fight between Peter, who changes into Spider-Man. Gwen helps out here. I like that she wasn't just a damsel in distress. The lizard escapes. Peter goes into the sewer to find him, while Gwen goes to Oscorp to create an antidote for lizard juice.
Oh, and the growing back of his tail was gross.
Oh, super gross.
It looked like a dog's lipstick at one point.
Ew. Ew. Okay, so while he's down there, Pete discovers Dr. Connor's YouTube channel. And
he doesn't make up tutorials.
Yeah, his plan to lizard up the whole city through. So I would point out the software on his computer system. He has a piece of software with a CGI replication of himself, which goes onto a CGI version of the island of Manhattan and then multiplies him. So he made some sort of software that illustrates what he's going to do through CGI, while in the corner it plays the video of him talking about it. Why did he create this software and leave it running while he left his lab? Okay, so the lizard goes out into the streets and he just starts gassing everybody with lizard gas.
Oh, and he bothered to put he's got the coat on now.
He put on his coat.
The lab coat.
Oh, yeah. From the comics, yeah. I was hoping we'd see that.
You know what he looks like? Because he doesn't look like the comics.
No, I don't like this lizard.
He looks like one of the Goombas from the Super Mario Brothers movies.
Yes.
It was a director's choice thing. They wanted to have his face look more human so that
the actor
the actor could do more acting.
But it was some uncanny valley shit. I don't know. I would rather him more cartoonish.
Yeah, it was weird. It didn't look great, I thought. But so all right, so Spider-Man goes after the lizard. He calls Gwen, tells her that the lizard's on the way to Oscorp to use the citywide gas machine to lizard everybody up.
Yeah, that's weird. Suddenly you can do it by inhaling. It had to be injected before this serum.
Yes, and I would point out, so, all right, I'll just talk about it now. So the lizard plan is to make everybody turn into lizards to stop racism and feeling lonely.
Inequality, basically.
Inequality.
Like the Harrison Bergeron type
But
story.
his plan is to turn them into lizards for a little while because they're going to turn...
they like it.
No, but because the lizard thing doesn't last forever.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Back into a human. He's going to turn everyone into the lizards for a bit.
Yeah, and even if they had fully organic arms, they will disintegrate to ash.
Has he at this point perfected the formula so it actually lasts longer? Or that
we're not told that.
Some kind of
we're not told, yeah.
maybe.
That's never said.
Plausible, but it's never said. Yeah.
But so, as far as I can tell, his plan is to turn the city of Manhattan into lizards for a while.
Temporarily
Into lizards. And there's no plan after that.
The first time is free.
Then they're going to come back to be lizards. I'm going to be like, I need some of that lizard juice, man.
You want some hair on? No, lizard juice.
So, all right.
Finally, I can play the piano as a giant reptile.
The lizard juice. So Gwen helps evacuate the building. She stays there. She doesn't flee. She's waiting for the antidote to be ready. Spider-Man gets surrounded by
Peter Spider-Man.
Peter Spider-Man. He gets surrounded by cops. He gets captured. He's able to incapacitate a bunch of them, but Captain Stacy gets the drop on him. He sees that it's Peter. He tells him he has to go save Gwen at Oscorp, so Captain Stacy lets him go, but Peter gets winged by a bullet in the thigh.
And it proves that not even just why that even costume vigilantes don't get shot as they quickly approach the police officer.
So,
all
right. So, let's see. Then we get the scene where he swings on the blue collar worker. Yeah, the cranes. The blue collar workers of New York come together.
See Thomas Howell.
Oh yeah.
He's the main guy.
Yeah.
When the lizard shows up at Oscorp just before this, he does that that thing that reptiles and cats do, smelling with his mouth.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
all right.
Then let's see. Peter arrives at Oscorp. The lizard arrives at Oscorp, terrorizes Gwen for a bit, gets the gas machine, puts it on the roof, and fills it up with lizard juice.
Delicious lizard juice.
Delicious lizard juice. It tastes like strawberries. Then Peter arrives. They fight. The lizard gets the upper hand, but Captain Stacy arrives and saves him.
What the fuck is this? Shotgun and liquid nitrogen.
Who stores liquid nitrogen on the roof?
Yeah, multiple tanks.
You are a scientist, Al.
So yeah, Stacy holds him off while Peter rushes to the machine to change out the lizard juice for antidote juice. The lizard mortally wounds Captain Stacy. He rushes up to stop Peter, but he's too late. The antidote shoots into the sky, makes antidote rain. He changes back into the doctor. He saves Peter from falling off the ceiling or the roof. Peter goes to Captain Stacy, who tells Peter to stay away from his daughter with his dying wishes. Then he dies. Peter goes home. This time he remembers the eggs. Then we get the shot of Gwen at her daughter's funeral. Peter's been ignoring Gwen because of her dad's dying wish. At least until he decides to ignore her dad's dying wish because he's a horny teenager.
Yep. Some Lois and Clark shit right there.
Yep.
Be very important to the plot in the sequel.
Yeah. Then we get the obligatory Spider-Man swinging through the New York glory shot. We freeze frame on him and roll credits. But wait, there's more. In jail, Dr. Connors is visited by a mysterious man who asks about Peter Parker. The end.
Yep.
Yeah. So
asks specifically, did you tell the boy about his father?
Yes. So clearly the sequel is going to
clear that up for us.
Except it won't.
Sure.
It won't.
Yeah.
So that's it. The Amazing Spider-Man. It was indeed a Spider-Man movie, which was made and exists.
And somehow boring.
Yeah.
The
Boring.
best characters of all time.
So boring.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. So we pretty much covered all of my unanswered questions except for one. Actually two. So Ben and May both have to work blue collar jobs while Peter's parents own like a $1 million brownstone and he's like a scientist like for a super rich corporation.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, they took different paths in life. I wonder what their parents.
Peter doesn't have a trust or anything from his
or the
super wealthy and
insurance policy.
successful.
Yes, nothing. Yeah.
They didn't commit suicide.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Oh yeah. Plane crashes are covered.
Yeah, something. And then also, so they go to what is it? It's Midtown Science High School. It's a science magnet science school for smart science kids. What the hell is Flash doing there? Where he has to be
he's on basketball scholarship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's in his district. I mean, they still take.
No, it's a magnet school.
Kids.
I don't think they have. Do they have?
No, yes. A magnet
All
school. It doesn't mean it's only made up of people.
All right.
From out of district. Okay. Yeah.
They also have lizards.
Yes. So that's all I got. Any last thoughts before we rank this thing, guys?
I think that they did a cool thing with the first person point of view with Peter that we didn't really get to see in the other movie or the other Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing that I thought was remarkable about this movie. I was like, oh, it's neat to see through Spider-Man's eyes.
When he swings up to the mirrored glass on the skyscraper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a cool shot. I liked some of the Spider-Man swinging stuff. I thought it looked really good. Some of the Spider-Man action.
Ooh, I did not like the crane sequence. That was the hokiest.
Yeah,
fucking easy. Even New York is a small town kind of shit. Ugh.
So dumb. That was dumb. Absolutely.
Yeah. All those guys are union workers, and they would have been like, no, man, you call my fucking rep. I don't give a shit about Spider-Man.
Well, Peter finds a way to get higher than the ground all the time.
Yes.
He doesn't need, there's all those buildings around these cranes. That's how he does it on a normal day.
Yeah, there were buildings. He did not need the cranes.
Yeah.
It was dumb.
It was that New York scene, like on the train, I think, in Spider-Man 2, where it's just
and
like
the bridge in Spider-Man 1.
You.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah. So, all right. You guys ready to rank it?
Yep.
All right. So I've got here. We've got Spider-Man 3 down at 54.
So in between that and Turtles 2?
Spider-Man 3. Where's Turtles 2? Is
just below it.
Oh, just
Yeah,
put it. Oh, so that's what I was going to ask. Is this better or worse than Spider-Man 3?
I think worse, even though Spider-Man 3 isn't great, but yeah. This is worse.
This would have been improved with singing and dancing.
Yeah. Yeah, strutting.
Do we want to look lower than Turtles 2 or Superman and the Mole Men? Nah. I think because below Superman and the Mole Men, we've got let's see,
Green Lantern and Ghost Rider.
Yeah. I think this is better than Green Lantern.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Do we want to? Yeah, I guess under Spider-Man 3 actually looks like pretty good.
Yeah.
Al?
I like it.
All right.
All right. So we are
Motion
putting
passes.
it right there at a number 55 below Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man. Which brings us to next week. Next week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we will be watching a thing which did not come up on our thing. It is going to be The Dark Knight Rises.
Ooh.
The Dark Knight Rises next week, guys. So
You get the Bane voice.
we get Bane. The Harley Quinn animated series Bane is one of my favorite characters ever.
When he trips over the chair.
Yes.
What's that there?
When he drops his hors d'oeuvre, he's like, "Oh, I will destroy your chicken satay." But that is next week.
His coffee mug that says caffeine is my reckoning.
Yes. That's next week. Until then, thank you everybody for listening. This has been your host, Throw Smiley, and I'm saying goodbye to that arm I've been dreaming of.
My name is Josh, and I've been touching up stuff in my room.
I'm Brian Lesh, and remember, kids, if you could do good things for other people, you have a moral obligation to do those things.
I'm Alec Weber, and when I steal cars, I dress like a cowboy.
I dress like Nickelback. So thanks. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.